Our plans for gaming over the Christmas break never quite seem to pan out. There's too much hobnobbing and eggnogging to be done. January, though? That month is as empty as a plate of gingerbread cookies on New Year's Day. With no events or major releases to speak of, you've got a clear run to tackle the mega games. You know, the 100-hour-plus monsters that don't fit the confines of normal life. Okay, maybe not all of them, but you can pick one of our favourites and enjoy a long, monogamous love affair with a video game during the weeks when nothing happens. Grab our new Astro A50X gaming headset that can connect to up to 3 gaming systems at once. And let's have a look at some of the longest games you can play throughout January.
Listen up, grab a torch, stay out of the dark, and move fast. The shadows have eyes. Go on!
There's a reason everyone's been banging on about Baldur's Gate 3 since it came out in the summer. A few reasons actually. There's the open-ended D&D combat, stealth systems deeper than Dishonored, and companions you can literally fall in love with.
A kindred spirit.
But there's also the fact that it's longer than a dwarf's beard. Start a playthrough today and you probably won't reach the city of Baldur's Gate for another 6 months. But that's because you'll be too busy hunting for treasure in the Underdark, or talking to a charming cat aptly named His Majesty. Baldur's Gate 3 is irresistible in that way.
Good of you to notice. For my part, I have noticed the cleric is a liar. She promised me a bit of milk. Do you see any milk, do you? Nor do I. Disgraceful.
At the beginning of Death Stranding, you're asked to make your way across America on foot, from the east to the west coast. Along the way, you're supposed to install the chiral network, which is sort of like a haunted internet. This would be a big ask in the best of times, but in the aftermath of an apocalyptic event, America now looks more like Iceland, racked by blizzards and covered in angry ghosts.
As you can see, the Death Stranding poked us full of holes.
Carrying cargo over this jagged terrain takes patience and good planning, but it's also deeply rewarding. The kind of slow burn satisfaction you can't get anywhere else in games. Plus, your mum asked you to do it, and she's the president, so you're not gonna say no.
This was Bridget's dying wish. This is how we'll move forward.
Please, Sam. We need you.
Compared to Death Stranding, Fallout 4's apocalypse is pretty chill. At least here, the bombs have stopped dropping, and the world is starting to rebuild. Admittedly, they're mostly rebuilding using corrugated iron and bits of manky old wood, but it's a start.
Oh, enjoying yourself in Good Neighbor? It's a heck of a town, ain't it?
There are dozens of outposts dotted around Boston just waiting for some TLC. Old farms and forts you can turn into personal construction projects. And if you get bored of that, there's always the main quest. But hey, your son's been missing all that time while you were in cryosleep. He can wait a few more days while you build a greenhouse out of beer bottles.
This place is starting to look like a proper home thanks to you.
You can play Red Dead Redemption 2 until the cows come home. And once they do come home, you can shoot them down and turn their pelts into jackets and moccasins. Only trouble is, you're likely to end up in a standoff with a cattle farmer. Or dealing with a bounty on your head. That's the level of engrossing simulation you're dealing with in Rockstar's cowboy masterpiece. And it's the way you're going to lose whole weekends to your new life as a 19th century outlaw. In fact, Red Dead Redemption 2 is so long that by the time you finish its story, it'll actually be the 20th century.
I hope it has delayed for at least a moment the crushing and remorseless misery of this mortal coil. Good night, dream well, and come back soon.
Let's take a further leap forward to 2052. That's the backdrop to Deus Ex, the classic super spy story that sets the template for Dishonored, Cyberpunk, and, well, more Deus Ex.
Welcome aboard, Agent.
Not that you can nail it down to a specific formula. Deus Ex is notable for its extraordinary variety across a globe-trotting adventure. You might be infiltrating a secret nanotech lab in Hong Kong, or picking a fight with a pimp in New York to save a hotelier's daughter. This is a game that can switch modes from stealth shooter to controversial RPG between fights. It's a trick that means it holds your attention for many, many hours, before finally revealing its biggest secrets.
Welcome to the Coalition, JC. I might as well start using your code name. Think I'd miss my brother's first day? Didn't think you'd have a choice.
The Witcher 3 is basically 3 adventures in the company of Geralt, the snow-topped monster slayer. The first is an excursion to Velen, a murky marsh where the godless locals turn to witches for guidance.
Kira.
What are you doing here?
The second is a city break in Novigrad, the metropolis tearing apart at the seams thanks to religious bigots.
Is that so?
Yes, for you are a rogue and a cheat, sir.
You never revealed yourself to be a witcher!
And the third is an orienteering trip through Skellige, the Viking archipelago where the storms might be world-ending. Play them back to back in the hunt for Ciri, and you've got a classic fantasy trilogy. One that will last you longer than the 6 novels The Witcher is based on.
You strike me as a man of the world. Are you familiar with Gwent?
No, and I don't have time to learn.
But the rules are quite simple. Come, let's play.
Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag sets you loose in the Caribbean to sink ships and raise rum to your lips. It's a story that takes you from the high point of the golden age of piracy all the way to the extermination of corsairs at the hands of dirty landlubbers.
Walk with us, Kenway. There's trouble brewing.
And actually, there's a fair bit of land-based assassination on offer too, courtesy of Cuba and Jamaica. An entire pirate's life bundled into one barrel.
Not a bad-looking tinderbox you got there.
You sound a bit green, Horny Gold. Is it envy? Because mine's bigger than yours.
Now all you need to do is pick one. Don't worry, we'll be here to recommend your next game once you re-emerge in a month or two. Feel free to set a reminder by subscribing to Logitech G and hitting that notification bell. In the meantime, happy playing, and remember to hydrate. You're in this for the long haul.